Judge Hernandez, President-elect Sheff, President Kelleher, Steve Hyken, who is Emily Novick's husband. Thank you for being here. Colleagues, members of the bar, friends, thank you all for being here tonight. My brother, Jules Levine, a professor of law emeritus at Boston University Law School, and his son, my nephew, Jim Levine, an assistant district attorney of Middlesex County, are also here for this special occasion. First, I want to congratulate the other honorees. Lisa Gilgan is the stalwart of the agency, and Attorney David Braithwaite. I'm so happy that you're back practicing law where you should be. I also want to thank you, Fred, for those very kind words. They're the kind of words my late father would like to hear, and my late mother would actually believe. I very much miss my beloved parents, to whom I owe so much. I'm also most grateful to Madam for this prestigious award. Judge Taub, as you heard previously, received the annual Manor Award, and I am following in his footsteps. It is a special honor because the award is now named the late Judge Emily Novick. Fred has just spoken eloquently about our dear colleague Emily, and his words were so true. I also attended that memorial service where I heard speaker after speaker who had known Emily throughout her life describe how selfless and compassionate of heart and spirit she was. She engaged in a wide range of activities to help others. She was much loved by her family and many friends. I first got to know Judge Novick when she joined the department in 2008. We were both administrative judges, and our offices at the old 600 Washington address were next to each other. We often discussed cases. Emily demonstrated extraordinary conscientiousness and care in deciding her cases. We also happened to live around the corner from each other in Brookline. On several occasions, I accepted Emily's offer to ride home from work with her husband Steve in their car. They were great together. Now, the judges at the DIA are hardworking. Some judges work nights, others work weekends. Emily worked both nights and weekends. More often than not, Emily would still be working at the office when I would be leaving for the night. I generally take the trolley to work. One Monday morning, I ran into Emily on the train. I looked forward to chit-chatting with her on the 30-minute ride. Instead, Emily handed me a decision she had worked on over the weekend. I spent those 30 minutes reading and discussing a very thoughtful decision on a complicated issue. I had few suggestions. And the next time I saw Emily on the train, I buried my head in the newspaper. Now I wish I could run into Emily every morning on the train. But sadly, that won't happen. In the words of a traditional Jewish expression, may Emily's memory be a blessing. Again, I want to thank Madam for today's award. For nearly 21 years, it has been a great honor and privilege to be a judge at the Department of Industrial Accidents. I have had unique experience of first being an administrative judge, as Fred has outlined, and at the hearing level. Then I became an administrative law judge at the appellate level. Then I became an administrative judge again, and now I'm back as an administrative law judge. My career path could make a person busy, but each position in its own way offers an opportunity to do much good while allowing great personal satisfaction. In 1992, I applied for a judgeship in the department. I was surprised when I was appointed to be an administrative judge at the trial level. I say surprised because my immediate background, as you heard, had been that of a staff attorney at the appeals court, where I reviewed decisions in appeals coming from the reviewing board. Of course, I accepted the honor of the appointment, and to my delight, I found the position to be a wonderful and fulfilling job. There was much intellectual challenge, and I particularly enjoyed the dynamics of the busy trial-level position. To preside over the daily give and take of an active hearing room, to interact with attorneys, clients, and the public, and for the first time ever, people even laughed at my jokes. And I know I'm not naturally funny because Judge Frederick won't laugh at my jokes. But the position comes with great responsibility. My decision as an AJ directly and immediately impacted people's lives. The workers' compensation statute has a beneficent intent, yet this is an adversarial system, and the parties are subject to the burden of proof and the rules of evidence. The notion of making such important decisions was both challenging and sobering. And early in my career, when people asked me how I liked the job, I would respond, I like the presiding, I don't like the deciding. Especially during conferences, I recall that after hearing the claimant's version of events, I would say to myself, now what possibly could be the defense to this? Then I would hear the insurer's version, I would say to myself, aha, now I see the problem. This brought home to me the truism that there are two sides to every story. I also found that when people take strong positions, they can get carried away and all hell may break loose. At one long ago conference, two zealous attorneys became more and more heated during the course of their presentations. At one point, after my attempts to calm the situation were to no avail, I thought to myself, you know, maybe I should dive under the bench before the bullets begin to fly. Fortunately, the lawyers were unarmed, and eventually they cooled off. In another instance, a pro se claimant had threatened to kill Judge Lamont. So obviously, Judge Lamont could not preside at the scheduled hearing. Senior Judge Joe Jennings, after he surveyed the roster of administrative judges available, chose me to preside over the process. But being a single gentleman with no prospects, so with the assistance of an armed state trooper, I presided over the hearing. I can say that the pro se employee would have been better served had he been represented by an attorney. But the hearing went forward without incident. As my 1997 term was coming to an end, Senior Judge Jennings informed me that I would be filling the remainder of retiring Judge Edward Kirby's term on the reviewing board. When I protested that I really enjoyed being an administrative judge and would very much like to continue in that capacity, Joe responded in his inimitable fashion, okay, I'll call Governor Cellucci and tell him you don't want the job. I happily took the job. As I'm sure you all know, the appellate level reviewing board works differently from the hearing level. The reviewing board is a collaborative endeavor. The ALJs work closely in panels of 3 to decide cases and issue decisions. I have been lucky to have worked with a congenial group of colleagues. But this has not always been the case at the reviewing board. Before my arrival, there had been disunity bordering on chaos. Improbable as it may sound, at one point, one ALJ actually chased another ALJ through the hallways of the board. Fortunately, he did not catch her. The problems were such that Judge Bill McCarthy, the Dean of the Judges, wore a referee's striped shirt and whistle at panel meetings to keep things in order. Also, a professional psychologist counseled the reviewing board to try to achieve some semblance of harmony. Everything else I told wasn't true, but these last 3 things are. But by the time I arrived at the reviewing board, things had settled down. As I indicated, I've had a harmonious experience working with my colleagues. By its nature as an appellate body, the reviewing board tends to be a staid and cerebral place. Although I often miss the action in the hearing room, I've enjoyed the collaboration and intellectual challenge that come with the reviewing board position, including the spirited discussions, always with good cheer, we have over difficult legal issues. The reviewing board has been ably assisted by our staff attorneys, most recently Carol Calliot, Fred Capone, Chris McLaughlin. In my case, they have been the brains behind the operation. For most of my career at the DIA, I'm pleased to report that I think soon there'll be good news about our Carol Calliot. For most of my career at the DIA, I have been ably assisted by Kelly Ivers. Kelly has great knowledge of the workings of the department and the various codes and entries that need to be made and scheduled to be kept.
20th century technology. When I first began as an AJ, I hand wrote my decisions, which Kelly would then type. But with Kelly's encouragement, I advanced to dictating my decisions. Unfortunately, and despite Kelly's best efforts, I have not progressed beyond that technology. I have heard of word processing, but I don't know how to do it. Most recently, I have been assisted by Cheryl McCreevy. She puts up with my primitive technical skills and also makes me look good. Thank you, Cheryl. Kelly and Cheryl and Lisa and the many other dedicated, hard-working people at the DIA make it a highly successful operation, and I'm confident it will continue to be so into the future. I finally want to emphasize that my job is made enjoyable and much easier by the workers' comp bar. You are well prepared and knowledgeable about the law. You have educated me from day one. You are zealous in representing your clients without being disagreeable. You are reasonable and realistic. I thank you. And please, keep laughing at my jokes. Thank you very much.